You don't learn that lesson again, God will send you for another spin around the mountain and teach you the lesson again and again and again until you finally get it. Hey! Hey everybody, welcome to the most Dwanderful real estate podcast ever. Okay, I'm doing something different today. I am actually holding my phone. You can't see it. It's got a little pop socket on the back. I'm holding it on my left hand. Got both my hands on the steering wheel. And I am driving to Denver right now to go door knocking. So good morning everybody. And I thought it would be fun to do a podcast as I'm driving down the hill. I have to look at the road, so I guess my face will look like it's kind of off to the side, but I need to get one of those little things that go in your windshield. I don't have one of those, but now I'm going to get one because I think this would be a fun way to do some podcasts sometimes. So welcome to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. I'm your host, Dwan, Twyford. I'm America's most sought after real estate investor. And I'm so happy that you are here with us today. Let me see. I don't know if you can see any of my views. A little bit. I gotta keep my eyes on the road though. Because y'all want me to be alive to podcast next week too. So, I just had a birthday over the weekend. Happy birthday to me. It's a birthday. I turned 64. 64, man. Can you believe it? It's like, oh my God. I don't know when that happened, but somewhere along the way, I turned 64. So it was fun. We didn't really actually do much because Bill still has to be fairly careful. And Ayla and her boyfriend were sick with some kind of I don't even know, wicked stomach, upper respiratory. And Will and Jess were okay, but the kids were sick. And Chris is in California, so Bill and I just stayed around the house. I had a massage. We went and got Indian food and brought it back to the house, and we watched some really cute Hallmark movies. So we had a good weekend. It was a good birthday. It was good. I wanted everybody to come up, but I gotta tell you, we're just so close to 365 days since that stem cell transplant that it's just not worth getting out, especially because it's been so cold up here lately. Let's see if I can show you here. Look at this. It's like the frozen tundra. It's crazy how cold it's been. And it's never this cold. This January, I think it was the first time in 2 decades we didn't get into the 60s. Normally we have, weirdly enough, in Bailey, in Denver, because we're like on the other side of all the ski areas, so we are not what's been called the high country. The average temperature is 55 degrees if you average it out year round. And that's in the winter. Like, we have lots of days in the 50s. I can slow down for the school zone. We have lots of days in the winters in the 50s, and it's nice. I mean, because it's not humid, so it's really nice out. But this year, I don't even know what happened. It's like every single day it's been so cold. Like right now, it says on my thing it's 25. They're supposed to get up to like 47 in Denver, and then, so whatever. Anyway, there's a little school where my kids used to go. So, peace everybody. Happy birthday to me. It's February. February is a big month. We have my birthday, we have our wedding anniversary, and we have Valentine's Day. And then Bill's birthday is March 26th, and now he has what's called a new birthday, which is March 2nd, the day he got his stem cell transplant. So basically from February until the end of March, it's like our birthday months. So we just usually have a lot of fun. We normally would travel and go do some stuff and, you know, just really have a lot of fun during this time of year. And not that we're not having fun, but I gotta tell you, I'm getting a little bit of cabin fever with all this isolation. That's why I'm like, girls, let's go door knocking. Mama needs to get out of the house. So it's been kind of fun. So I want to talk to you today. I want to catch up with you on some of the deals I've been talking to you about. So I was talking to you, I believe, last podcast. I did not go back over my notes. So I'm trying to do it from memory. I believe on the last podcast, we talked about Erickson. So let me tell you. So Erickson, we had him under contract. He was literally just 3 or 4 days away from the sale. We had already talked to the bank. They said, yes, they'll do a short sale. They said, yes, they'll postpone the sale. We had everything done. Well, then on the title, it shows there's a person named Carmen. So I asked Erickson, who's Carmen? He said, oh, she's a friend of mine. She co-signed, but she doesn't live here. She's not in the picture. She's nowhere to be found. And I said, yeah, I know, but like I can't do this deal without Carmen's signature. So now Erickson is not being very forthcoming. And his English isn't that good anyway. Hang on here. Don't use your tool. Don't use your teeth as a tool. That's what my dentist says. But hang on. Hang on. It's hard to do this holding my phone. Mama needs some chapstick. So I'm trying to use my other hand that's holding my phone. There we go. Do not do this while driving. It's dry out. I gotta put the chapstick on so I can stay in conversation with y'all. Okay. So Erickson won't give us Carmen's information. We can't find anything out. But his son, Eric, who's 18, translates for us. So normally when we get on the phone, it's me, Ayla, Felicia, Eric, and Erickson. So I tell Eric, I say, listen, I have to have Carmen's phone number because I can't do anything without her signature, and she is on the title, she's on the deed, and she's on the mortgage. And I don't know why her name didn't, I think it came up, and he was like, oh yeah, no, she's gone, she signed everything over to me, just, he's kind of just blowing all that off. But that, my friends, is not the case. So now we get Carmen. So now this is on, I can't remember the exact dates, but the sale date is on a Thursday. We have them under contract on Monday. We get a hold and find out Carmen, who Carmen is. We talked to Carmen on Tuesday. So now Monday we have a contract. Tuesday we get Carmen's information. The sale date's 10 a.m. on Thursday. So it's Tuesday, 48 hours before the sale date. We talked to Carmen. Carmen knows nothing about the house being behind in payments. Carmen knows no idea that all these mortgage payments have been made late and her name is on the mortgage. She co-signed, so her name's on that mortgage. She doesn't know that. Okay, now I'm turning on to 285, which is the main highway. This is 26 miles to Denver. So we got 26 miles to talk. So Carmen doesn't know anything. All right, so here's what ends up happening. Erickson got Carmen to co-sign the loan with him with the intent that they would live there together. After they signed the papers and he moved in, he wouldn't let her move in. So she's like a jilted person. It was like, well, F you. And he's like, you're not living here. I don't want to live with you. So he literally used her to sign the mortgage because he couldn't qualify by himself. So now Carmen finds out on Tuesday and she's livid. I'm not even sure livid is a strong enough word. She is livid. She is cussing in Spanish. She's all over the place. So upset. So she goes, I'll call you back. So she calls me back. And she says, my uncle says he'll make up all the back payments. And I said, well, the bank won't take them. In Colorado, you have to send in a right to redeem 14 days ahead of the sale date. You have to go to the trustee and give them a right to redeem that you're going to make your payments. So here's the attorney's phone number. So she calls the attorney on Wednesday. Now, the sale date, remember, is Thursday at 10 a.m. On Wednesday at about 4:30, she and her uncle walk into this attorney's office. And the uncle says, no, I'm going to give her a check. We're going to make up the back payments. We're going to kick Erickson out. So the attorney, God bless him, because most attorneys wouldn't have done this. He went ahead and he took the check. He said, I'll tell you what, I'll take the check. I'll postpone the sale for 5 days. So if the check doesn't clear, you'll lose the house next Thursday. So part of me is just like, there goes my deal, because I had a short sale worked out. I had all the stuff worked out. So, and in my mind, I'm making like 35 grand. And when you're making it, the money's already spent on something. So I was kind of bummed about that. But you can't be mad about some justice here. So 4:30 on Wednesday, she's in the office with her uncle, with the attorney, writes a check, because normally they only take cashier's checks. Writes a check, the attorney agrees to take it, he postpones the sale till the following Thursday, and the check cleared. So I was like, you know what, yay for her, because I'm always happy when someone saves their house. But now Erickson is in a heap of shit because she didn't know any of this stuff. So she literally sends a bunch of her friends over there, and they bully him, and they put all his stuff in moving in trucks, and they moved him out, and she moved in. So I don't know what she said. I don't know how she got him to pack his stuff, because possession is 9/10 of the law. But she had the papers from the attorney, showed that she made the payments. She called whoever, and they loaded him up, and they took him to a hotel and dropped him off with all of the stuff. So it was just like the drama. So that's how that one ended. So I hate that we lost the deal, obviously. But my goal always, as you know, the motto at Dwanderful is people before profits. So anytime a homeowner can keep their house, that obviously has to be the first goal. And to find out that she was just like lied to and used and signed all these papers, and then the day of the move, and they're like, no, you're not moving in with me, I'm moving in by myself with my boys, and you can't live with us. And she had like nothing. She was like thrown to the wolves. So she got a little revenge plot there and threw him back to the wolves. So she's settled. She can make the payments. I think she's living there with her. Her uncle may even be living with her. And they were able to keep the deal. So that's the deal with Erickson. So it's like the life and times of a real estate investor. Sometimes there's so much drama. And other times deals are so smooth and they're so great, and you're like, oh, this is the greatest thing. But that was still a great thing. It was a little bit, hairy there in a 48-hour period, trying to get a contract, get a short sale, get this, get that, find out she's on there, get it paid, boom. It was like a lot happened. But I was very happy for her, and I told Erickson, I called his son and put Erickson on the phone. And so I had his son translate, and I said, listen, that was a super shitty thing to do. And I said, I just literally said, you're an asshole for doing that to her, and you deserve everything that you get right now, because you got this woman to agree to do all this because you told her you want to live with her, and you had no intention. So, that karma, that reaping and sowing and stuff coming back to you, that's real, dude. So I said, welcome to the return of the bad juju. So he hung up on me, which is okay. So anyway, I called the son a week or so later, and I just said, hey, I just want to make sure you and your dad are all right. Did you get me? He's like, yeah, we found a place to rent. We got moved in. We're staying with some friends or something, I think is what they're actually doing. And he goes, no, we got it all squared away. And he thanked us for our time, thanked us for his help. And then he said he honestly didn't know that that's what had happened, that Carmen was supposed to live there. And he felt bad, and he told his dad that was a really crappy thing to do, and shame on him. And I said, and he's 18. I said, so listen, young man, learn a lesson from this. What your dad did was wrong. He treated this woman and took advantage of her. He mistreated her. He took advantage of her. And in the end, he got the shit smacked out of him. So don't be that guy. So he's like, no, Miss Dwan, I won't be like that. I learned a good lesson watching this. I didn't know. And, because he told, Erickson told the kids she didn't want to live with them anymore. And just whatever. And that was not true. So there's that deal. And let's see, Miss Heather over here in Bailey, in my little town, she's still making her payments, so she's only got one more to make, and she'll be all right, so that'd be good. And I still have crazy Elise, Lord have mercy. Her husband fell and broke his femur, so he's in a rehabilitation facility right now. So they postponed her sale just till the end of February. So she is now trying to sell the house to us and keep all the money, and he's on the mortgage and the deed. They've owned the house together for 20 years. I'm like, girl, you can't do that. Like, half is his, half is yours. So I don't know what's going to happen to her. I just stopped calling her. I'm like, well, when you decide you want to do the right thing, you call me back. She says, well, can't you just like give the money to me so I can get the both of us squared around? And it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. He gets half the money, and now he's got dementia as well. So he has to live in a memory care facility now full time because he can't live at the house by himself anymore. So I don't know. She's trying to snake all the money. So unless I can figure out a way, I mean, not that she can, but if they write a check to him and her, she just doesn't put it in the bank and take all of it. So I found out who his daughters were. I said, hey, when this deal closes, I think that we should make your dad's check, have 50% made to him, 50% made to Elise, and let me give it to you girls, and you guys deal with getting your dad into a facility and getting him squared away, because it's going to cost quite a bit of money. And so Elise was livid when she found out that I had the daughters' phone numbers, because they're Les's daughters. I said, hey, listen, girl, I'm like a freaking private investigator. I found out who they are. I called them. One lives here in Colorado, one lives in Florida. And I got in touch with them. I said, here's what's happening, and I think you guys need to know. And what's, because of your dad's dementia. Whoop. Dropped my phone. Dropped it right out of the pop socket. And I said, I don't think it's right what's getting ready to happen right here. So my advice is to, since we're closing at a title company, is to have his check made out to him, and then you guys get it, and then have hers made out to her, and then just let that go, because she's got a boyfriend, she's moving in with somebody else, she's just leaving this poor 83-year-old man, who she's 64 and he's 83, I think. She's just leaving him, 82 maybe. She's just leaving him. She's like, I can't deal with it, blah, blah, blah. His daughters need to take care of him now. So it's like, God, people are just cruel, man. It's like, come on, you've been married to this guy literally for 20 years. And now you're just booting him to the curb because he's got dementia. What about that death to his part stuff? She's like, I'm just tired of dealing with him. So that's that one. So I don't even know. And we have my fun guy from Craigslist. Let's see if I can put this on my other hand. I'm going to get one of those little window things today. I'm going to stop and buy one, so I can hang my phone in that and I can talk to you guys. It's kind of fun talking and driving. Makes my drive shorter and more interesting. The guy that called from Craigslist that has the properties that are in La Junta and Puerto Rico and a hotel, we actually found a buyer for the ones in La Junta. So we're trying to structure that. That's 4 deals in one shot right there. Should be able to make about 50 grand on that one. So we're trying to get that structured, but in my personal opinion, they're asking just a little bit too much. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. How fast am I driving here? My little Hummer gets away from me. And they've got speed things all down this highway. So we're going to kind of have to see what happens with those guys. I do have 2 different people that are interested in buying it, but they're not wanting to come down quite as much. And if you'll go check my TikTok at Dwantastic, or my Instagram at Dwanderful, or Facebook at Dwanderful. This week I'm going to put I'm going to make a video of these houses. Oh my gosh, they're so trash. I don't think I've ever seen a house so trash. One had a fire. So the guy that owns them says, well, I had a contractor come out and he said that the trusses only have 30% fire damage and they're 70% good, so the trusses and the roof are good. And I said, dude, would you honestly sell a house that has 70% good trusses, 30% that are charred from a fire, to a family with kids? Like, what is wrong with you? You gotta replace the whole roof. Now, I can get this and this. Like, he's trying to argue with me and tell me how much things cost. And then he starts treating me like a girl. I was like, now listen, honey, I've been rehabbing and blah, 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 and I have a contractor, and he did this and he did that. And he looked at this and he looked at that, and what you're saying is not true. I just don't think you girls know what you're talking about. You know, you're not real rehabbers. And I thought, seriously? I'm still fighting the boys club? So I said these exact words. I said, Lance, listen, this is not a dick measuring contest. And if it was, mine would be bigger. I have closed over 2,000 deals. I have rehabbed about 300 properties. I've had 2 of my recent properties featured in magazines. I have a podcast. I teach and I train. I think I know more than you. Crickets. And Felicia's on the phone with me, and she texts, she's like, I can't believe you said that. I was like, well, what the hell? We're not measuring over here. Who's got the biggest cojones? And he's done like 10 deals. It's like, dude, it's not, so I did it. This is not dick measuring. I don't think I've ever said that to another person in my entire life. I hear people say it, and I'm like, oh, so crude. But I thought, you know what? Maybe a little crude is what he needs. So I'm just trying to get him to reality. We're pretty close. We're only about $25,000 off. But he can't sell these houses for what he wants because 2 of them have been sitting so long that the foundation has cracked. So he says, I fixed the foundation, Dwan, and we took pictures. He had someone go over there with some 2x6s and put them under the foundation and jack it up. And then there's a 2x6 that goes off to the ground to the side of the house, holding the other ones in place. So that's what he considers the fixed foundation. I'm like, did you have it leveled? Do you have a contract? Did you have a certificate? Did you spray the foam and the concrete underneath it? Did you do all that? And he's like, no, I did some 2x6s. And so you can see the 2x6s, pulled the house up, he jacked it up, and then he has one that's basically held on with a bracket coming from the side over to the 2x6 under the house that's in place by a bracket that they dug a hole into the ground to keep it in place. I'm like, honey, what inspection do you think this house is going to pass, dude? Like, some of these homeowners are so unrealistic about what they think. He's, well, I'm just looking at the comps. I said, I don't give a crap what the comps say. This house is worth like 25 grand. Yeah, it's worth 175 fixed up. It's got bad roof, and the foundation is cracked in 2 places. Like, the steps are coming off of the house. So, I don't know, I gotta tell you, I haven't door knocked. I told y'all I haven't door knocked in a long time. And we buy a lot of houses from the auction companies. And we also have a student that's a president of a bank, so he gets us a lot of properties. So I haven't been like face to face with homeowners for a minute, just with everything with Bill and just, you know, we've been so busy in Iowa. And I have to tell you, I'm having a lot of fun. But I am just like, I forgot how homeowners live in La La Land. And the hard thing about this exact market is some of these people still haven't made the payments since COVID. And they haven't made the payments since COVID. So they, like Elise at this point is 35, I think it's 35 payments behind, I think, as of this month. I don't know how she bought so much time in the first place, but she did. And, you know, she filed a bankruptcy, and, you know, so good for her. But people, what happens, I told you all this before, but I just want to reiterate it. when people don't make a mortgage payment for 20 months, they now are used to making car payments, credit cards, buying groceries, going out and doing all the things that you do without the mortgage payment in the mix of the finances. So they get used to living on a lesser amount of money and still living the same lifestyle because they're not making the mortgage payment. So when someone gets over like 12 or 15 months late, especially COVID, people are still just now catching back up. And they haven't made payments for 2 years. Their lifestyle now includes whatever money they have without the mortgage payment, and that's how they live. That's why I see so many people. I met another person the other day, got a brand new BMW, sitting in the drive. How'd you get that? Oh yeah, well, I got it during COVID, I got a bunch of money, blah blah blah. And so now their car payment is probably more than the mortgage payment. So the downside for homeowners is when they haven't made payments for so long, sometimes they really do have a hard time recognizing that they have to make the mortgage payments or they have to move out. The bank's just not going to let them live there forever. So some of these people are just really unrealistic about what their house needs. They're unrealistic about their time frames. And I'm telling you right here in Colorado, there's a sale every day, Monday through Friday. And they are snapping up houses so fast. I mean, some of the people I talked to said, listen, you guys have less than a month, like you need to let, no, we're going to figure it out. Houses are gone. I talked to a guy the other day whose sale date was last Thursday, so today's Monday, so it was last Thursday. I talked to him like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He goes, no, I'm going to figure it out. I said, but your sale date's Thursday. Well, he lost his house at the sale too. I was like, Mr. C, like, what is wrong that you just let this house go? Like, what is wrong with you? And he's just like, no, I'm going to file something. They won't take my house. And they did. So 3 or 4 of my homeowners have lost their houses in the last 30 days. And they're working with me. And I'm like, listen, here's what's going to happen. For the love of God, will you listen to me? And they're like, no, we're going to figure it out. We're going to call the bank. We're going to buy more time. And the banks are like, no, you're not buying any more time. So I've lost a few deals that I would never normally lose. Never normally lose. Because the people have called the bank so many times and gotten one more month, filled out another loan modification, filled out a CHAFA, filled out something, and they keep getting an extra month here and there. So we're going to go door knocking today. I've got 10 people I'm going back to their houses in person. So I got my scarf, got my thing, got my makeup on. They usually just door knock like a schlump. I have my hair in a ponytail and I it's cold, so. Oh, my ears just popped right here going down the mountain. We live at 9,200 feet, right? When you get into this little area right here in Aspen Park, your ears pop. And if they don't pop, you have a headache by the time you get to Denver. Okay, ears are popped and clear. So I'm going to go, I've got 10 people, I'm going to go to their house today in person and be like, now listen to me. These people, I can give you these phone numbers of these 4 people that just lost their house in the last 2 weeks, and they were working with me, and I'd already called the banks, and we were trying, and they just kept saying, no, the bank's going to work, and they didn't. The banks aren't, they're not. So, I don't even know how to give people more of a reality check than I am, because I'm so blunt and forward with it, and I get the bank on the phone, and I say, look, here's what the bank's saying, you're on the phone, you heard the bank say that. But again, when you get people that haven't made payments for years, they really honestly get the mindset that the bank's not going to actually take their house. And they are. So I just tell everyone, well, good luck. I'm sorry that you lost your house. I mean, you had every opportunity to work with me. I made you a good offer. I offered to close on time, but you live in La La Land. So it kind of makes me mad, though, because I hardly ever let a person lose their house. When you got people that just flat out refuse to hear you and accept what you're saying as the truth. sometimes that's just the deal. And it's funny. I can remember way back, like way back, 30 years ago, when someone would lose their house, I would feel so upset about it. Like, I would cry, and I can't believe I wasn't able to help them. And I took it so personal. And I just remember praying one day, and I just remember God, like, saying to me, listen, their journey, their lesson that they're learning, you were a part of it, but you were not the solution. They need to learn their lesson on their own. So it's not your fault if someone doesn't listen to you, or doesn't work with you, or doesn't hear what you're telling them and do what you're telling them. So once I started realizing I didn't get them, so this is something for you guys, really take heart with this. Because in the beginning, this used to really hurt me when someone would lose their house. Hang on. Coming into this, what's called the snake. And this is literally a snake. It gets us down to the bottom of the mountain. So I need both my hands for driving. So I used to get so upset with people that they would lose their house, and I'm trying to help them. I'm like, I can't believe you guys just let that go. And so God, like I said, just started putting on my heart and said, listen, they're on their journey and you're on their journey, and you were a part of it, but you are not the solution. This is what they have to learn. They're going around the financial mountain, learning how to handle their money and handle things. And the fact that you can't help everyone, it's not your fault, and you can't take it personal. So after, I don't know, it took me probably a year, honestly, of people still losing their houses, for me to stop feeling bad about it. Because I thought, yeah, but I'm here. I made an offer and they let their house go. I don't understand. This is like 30 years ago, like I said. This is way back. And so since then, I have realized, because God teaches all of us lessons, we're always learning. And I have realized that I may not be the solution to their problem. I gave them sound advice. I wrote it on paper. We call the bank. They know the truth. They know the sale date. They know all of that. And if they still don't want my help, then I have to let them go. So I pray for them. I tell them that when God closes the door, He opens the window. And if, next time they buy a house, just be more diligent. And don't let this be the one and only time that they ever actually end up in foreclosure. And I've had people contact me years later that bought another house that went in foreclosure again. Sometimes people just keep going around that mountain. But if God doesn't, if you don't learn the lesson the first time out, I can't tell you how many times I've been around the same mountain. You don't learn that lesson again, God will send you for another spin around the mountain and teach you the lesson again and again and again until you finally get it. So don't feel bad for people that lose their house when you tried to help them, because you were meant to be a part of the lesson. You're probably there to speak some reasonability a word, to give them some reasoning, to give them some facts, to show them in black and white what's happening. And if they choose to still go a different path, or to believe the bank won't take their house, and then the bank does, well, then they learned right then and there that that was not a good choice for them. So you can't save everyone. And that was my hardest lesson as a new investor, because I have a heart for everyone and I want to try to save everyone. With this snake, see, I'm still driving. Look at this mountain though. It's a curvy mountain down here, going down to Snake. I can't tell you how many times I've seen trucks turned over. There was a truck one time coming in. This is like, it's a snake. It's like a super sharp S-curve all the way down, because it cuts the distance getting to the bottom. There was a big semi-truck. I mean big. And he had tipped over. A lot of trucks tip over in that snake because the incline is so steep. And it's curvy. And Bill and I were coming home one night, and they had the roads all blocked off. And I put a new ring in, a new little cross. that the roads blocked off, and I swear to God, a giant semi-truck full of potatoes had flipped over, and the potatoes broke out. There was millions of them. Imagine a giant 18-wheeler full to the top of potatoes. And they had the road blocked off, and they had like bulldozers, like scooping potatoes so people could drive, and the potatoes made the road slick. The driver's just standing there shaking his head, and I mean, there's potatoes on all 4 lanes. It was, I videotaped it. I don't know where that video's at now, but I've never seen such a hot mess. It was just, I know it's not funny because the poor guy probably got in all kinds of trouble. But, you know, sometimes these trucks have, you know, chemicals and all kinds of crazy stuff. This was more potatoes than I've ever seen in my entire life all over the highway here. So, it used to hurt me when I couldn't help a person, especially when I was like, I don't understand why you're not letting me help you. I literally have gone through every detail. We've called the bank, we've talked, I don't understand. And then after I just realized I can't save it. I mean, I can remember homeowners, I wanted them to like move into my house with me because they didn't have anywhere to go. So I finally realized I cannot save everyone. It's just like all of you that want to be real estate investors. I want to teach you. I can make you the best real estate investor you could ever imagine being. But I'm not for everyone. Not everyone likes the Dwanderful pink crazy hair and like, I don't know if I take her serious. It's like, honey, I've done so many deals. But you know what? I want to feel like I want to feel. I want to look like I want to look. I want to enjoy how I am. And the people that love me, like you're cool. And the people that are like, I don't know. It's, you know, like I said, I'm not for everybody. I'm not for every homeowner either. So take this away from the call today. First of all, you cannot save everyone. And the ones you can't save, and you did your best, you were put there to be the voice of reason. You were put there to help them. And if they didn't accept your help, it's not your fault. They're learning their own lesson. You were a part of it, but you weren't the solution. The same thing, if you want to be a successful real estate investor, you need to opt in to Dwanderful.com, Dwanderful, Dwanderful.com. I've got 4 free ebooks. I've got a whole program called the Top 7 Real Estate Investing Strategies for Today's New Market, and you get that broken down into 20 lessons. It's really good. There's enough information for you to do a deal. And then I've got my wholesale system and my short sale system and my subject to system, and we have our apprentice training where we actually fly to your house and train you at your house for 2 days and then work with you for 2 years after that. And my average apprentice student makes $108,000 in the first 6 months. And it's a 3-deal guarantee. So we guarantee that you'll do 3 deals. Guarantee. That one, well, I'm going to say right now, it's $30,000 right now. I don't know what it will be later in the year because we're raising all of our prices this year. I just haven't officially raised them yet. So if you hear this podcast and you want to get in before it's 50, do it. And I've had lots of people off the podcast that were like, hey, I want to work with you. You're going to come to my house? I'm working with you for show. So do that too. I'm at the end of the day, after I've door knocked today, I'm going to do another podcast on the way back up the hill. So I'll tell you, and I think I'm going to stop by one of those little window things to like stick my phone on. Because you only got to drive safe, got to arrive alive. And I'll let you know how the day went today. So I'm going to be with Ayla and Felicia, I believe. Maybe just Felicia, I'm not 100% sure. Ayla's getting tires on the car today. And so that's the deal. We're going to have fun today. We're going to be out. Let me see how much time I have here. 38 minutes. Oh, that was fun. So see, and I come down on Mondays with the girls, so I might podcast down and back. Makes my drive more fun. And I love all of you, and I want you to have just a great day, and I really want you to opt in at Dwanderful.com, get some free stuff, and get your butts investing. It's 2023. These banks are taking no more crap off homeowners. They're selling houses quicker than I've ever seen. And I'll let you know how the day went today. I think I might do this for the month of February. I told the girls I'd come every Monday with them. And I like like it because we door knock and then we have lunch and then I get to visit everybody and then I go stay all night with my grandbabies and then I door knock with them on Tuesday for half a day and then I go get a massage. Mama got to take care of herself. So right now I'm getting a massage every Tuesday and every Friday since I got rear-ended. And the cool thing is the insurance is paying for them, so I'm really loving that. So I'm getting 2 a week. But that, man, I tell you what, they really help. The girl that does mine makes her own CBD oil, and I don't know what she has in that stuff, but I'm telling you, you are like jello when you walk out of there. It's terrific. So, all right, I'm almost at my destination. So I hope you like the podcast. You're going to have to let me know how you liked these from the car. Now, obviously, I can't interview guests from the car, but I like talking to you guys as I'm just driving. And this is what a day is like in the life of a real estate investor. We're going to do it on today. We've got 3 ads. I'm an ad in a mountain newspaper. I've gotten quite a few calls from that. We have an ad in the Denver Post, the Denver newspaper. We have a little business card size ad there. We have ads on Craigslist. We now have a bunch of bandit signs out. We have our little I Buy Houses Cash on billboards all the way from here to La Junta, like just everywhere. And when the girls are coming up this week, I got a bunch of bandit signs that have Bill's phone number, and so we're going to spray paint over them and put on a new phone number because I got $1,000 worth of bandit signs just sitting in boxes. So I'll videotape a little bit of that. That'd be fun. And we just doing what it takes. Our follow-up is strong. I tell you, in all my years of investing, I don't think my follow-up has ever been this strong, so making the girls do it. So let's just start with that. I do it too, though. But they call everybody every day. They follow up. We have not let a single person slip through the cracks. So follow-up is the key. And we have lost a few deals. Like I said, they went to foreclosure anyway. But it's not for lack of trying. So, all right. Well, here's my exit. So, I'll see you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Remember that the truth is in the red letters. Also, like and subscribe. And then let me know on social media how you like these with me driving in the car. Because if you do, I'm going to do these for the rest of February because I think they're kind of fun. So